Welcome to Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Sam Levitt's Furniture. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley, here with Greg Hansen. Greg Rondé Hollis Jefferson announced Tuesday that he's going pro, and I think as much as some Arizona fans might have hoped he stayed true to his school, we are talking about some big-time money awaiting Rondé Hollis Jefferson, to the point where it almost wouldn't have made any sense to stay.
Yeah, no one should be fooled anymore thinking that there's a big decision to be made.
Right.
You look at Jordan Hill, who to me wasn't not that good at Arizona, and he's a perfunctory center in the NBA. He makes $173,000 a week.
A week?
A week.
A week?
52 weeks of that.
Wow. I mean, and he is a guy who is playing a lot on the worst team in the NBA, and probably doesn't top out as a starter on any average to good team in the country.
So Rondé's upside, you know, if he develops, he'll make more than Jordan Hill at some point.
Yeah, and he should play in the league because of his skill set for much longer, you would think.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's staggering, and I think most fans just don't understand exactly the kind of money that's at stake here. I mean, we were talking off air. Take me through Arizona's early entrance and how they've done. 17
players have left Arizona early, and that includes Conell Norman and Eric Money in the mid-'70s. Only 2 haven't made it, Conell Norman and Marcus Williams, who's played in China.
Right.
So 15 of the 17 made it and made big money. Nick Johnson's making $504,000 this year. That's pretty big money.
Yeah, I'd take $504,000 this year.
It's $9,000 a week.
That's, wow. It's funny too, because the NBA, while everybody looks at the NBA as kind of being the destination when you declare early, you can make pretty good money without having to pay taxes by playing overseas. And the number one example in my mind is the athlete formerly known as Michael Wright. And what he's been able to, I mean, playing in Israel, Turkey, Poland, I mean, he is a millionaire.
Oh, Joseph Blair is the best example of that.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to work.
Right.
He played, what, 12 years overseas, didn't play in the NBA. He doesn't work.
Is this just a byproduct of being a basketball power, that you are recruiting players who do not necessarily need to stay for 4 years and maybe don't come in with the attitude of wanting to stay for 4 years?
That's the bottom line. That's the whole thing right there.
Yeah.
That's why Arizona gets these kids.
Yeah.
And why they will continue to get these kids.
It's funny, Greg. It seems to me like there's been sort of a cultural shift in terms of the one and dones, or the two and dones even, since Lute Olson's era. You know, Lute famously said he didn't want one and dones, and most fans, I think, would turn on a guy if he left after a year, as recently as Jared Bayless.
Right.
Is it just that we know more now about sort of the inequality of the NCAA? Is it that it's happened so many times that we've come to expect it? Why are most fans now more okay with this than they were 10 years ago?
Because we're used to it.
Yeah.
Jared Bayless left after one almost insignificant season.
Right.
And he's making $3 million a year as like a sub somewhere. I haven't even tracked him. He's played at so many teams.
Right.
But he's making $3 million a year. He's probably 27 years old. And his career at Arizona was just,
Right, right. He was really, I mean, he was a good player on a bad team.
Yeah.
And the guy who, had he stayed for 4 years, would have graduated maybe as one of the better players they've ever had, I would make the argument, but would not have the extra, say, $8 million in the bank that he has right now.
I mean, this is a long time ago, but Bison DeLay, Brian Williams, he left after the '91 season, and it sent tremors through Tucson that, we going to lose these guys? Well, that started it. Well,
that'll do it for this episode of Greg Hansen's Video Notebook. Now I'm depressed, by the way. That's a lot of, these guys make. For Greg Hansen, I'm Ryan Finley. We're going to go ask for raises. We'll see you next time.